Hey everybody, let's talk about something not controversial, shall we? Let's talk about vaccines. Yay! This year, I'm gonna do something I literally haven't done in 30 years. I'm gonna get a vaccine. I know! And guess what? I'm actually gonna get two. Number one vaccine that I'm gonna get is the COVID vaccine. I can't wait for it. Bring it on. Number two vaccine, I'm gonna get a flu vaccine. My 12 and 15-year-old children have never received a flu vaccine. This year, roll up them shirt sleeves, boys. Vaccines for everyone. Now, you might be saying, hey, wait a second, Dr. Mayim Bialik. You don't believe in vaccines. You're one of those anti-vaxxers. I know it because I read it online. Well, folks, let's finally talk about it. I will make this as non-obnoxious as possible. I wrote a book about 10 years ago about my experience parenting. And at the time, my children had not received the typical schedule of vaccines. But I have never, not once, said that vaccines are not valuable, not useful, or not necessary, because they are. I've received a ton of negative press about this, and to be quite honest, most of it was inaccurate. The internet jury decided that I was a danger to my children, a disgrace to science, and a member of the Hollywood elite responsible for the killing of babies. Yes. Here's the truth. The truth is I delayed vaccinations for reasons that you don't necessarily get to know about simply because you follow me on social media. So some children have allergies, which are exacerbated by ingredients in vaccines. Some children are highly susceptible to seizures from fevers, which vaccines can cause. Some children have compromised immune systems. As of today, my children may not have had every one of the vaccinations that your children have, but my children are vaccinated. I repeat, my children are vaccinated. Now, do I think we give way too many vaccines in this country compared to when I was a vaccinated child? Yes. Do I believe that most people don't even know what hepatitis B is, but vaccinate their newborns for it anyway because they're simply told to? Yes. Do I believe there's a tremendous profit that is made from vaccines, and specifically from making sure that kids show up in school? Yes. Do we live in a society where most parents can't stay home and nurse sick children now more than any other time in history? Absolutely. Does the medical community often operate from a place of fear in order to make money? Heck yeah, they do. Do I feel icky about injecting babies and children with tons of chemicals and parts of cows and chickens and eggs? Yeah, I feel a little icky about it, but that's not the issue right now. Here's the issue now. A lot of people, or some people are saying they won't take the vaccine for COVID, and that's very disturbing. Two kinds of people are saying this. The first category is the kind of people you thought I was before this video. The people who believe that any vaccine should be avoided and that the only way to have true immunity is achieved by actually getting a disease. Some people even believe that the government is poisoning us with vaccines. I'm not that person. Those people are allowed to exist, though, and in many cases, they do become a threat to the rest of us. I get it. Also, herd immunity is critically important. That's just science. The second category of people who say they won't get the COVID vaccine are the people who, like President Trump for reference, maybe don't think that this virus is a true severe threat. Perhaps they think it's a hoax to make money, or to make Democrats more popular, or maybe they think it's not going to kill most of us. And while the number of cases does not necessarily mean the number of deaths, and many people may get it and not get that sick, here's why I, a skeptic about a lot of the policies of Big Farm, as well as someone critical of much of the scheduling of vaccinations in this country, am choosing to enthusiastically vaccinate for COVID and the flu this year. All right, let's talk about it. The coronavirus is a powerful and mysterious virus. It is not always lethal, but we do not know everything that we need to know about it in order to consider not vaccinating, especially en masse. What we do know about COVID is this. It is highly contagious. It is highly insidious. It is passed on even when you may not even have symptoms. And it seems to inflict a variety of, frankly, terrifying and potentially debilitating symptoms, which, yes, can be lethal. This lethality often comes after weeks or months of a pretty vicious struggle. You can't breathe, you're incredibly weak. We've seen everything from full organ failure to unthinkably low oxygen levels, blood clotting throughout our bodies and throughout our delicate nervous system. This is an unfathomably complicated virus, period. And while we know a bit about risk factors, we also really don't yet know why otherwise healthy people indeed die from it in many cases. Here's some more truth. Vaccines are never 100% effective. Never. They're never 100% effective. That means you can be vaccinated and still get sick, and you can get others sick. Viruses mutate. That makes vaccines that you think are protecting you unable to do so. And that's true for every vaccine you've ever given your child. It's true for every vaccine you've ever taken. The coronavirus vaccine will not be 100% effective. It may be 50% effective, for example, which means that half of the people who get it might still contract the virus. However, it is critical for a virus like COVID that as many people as possible stack the statistics in our favor so as to avoid continuing spreading the virus. And we need to do that as quickly as possible. What about the flu? I generally believe the flu is manageable. I'm one of those people that believes that. But I'm stacking the chips in our favor this year by making sure our immune system does not get extra compromised by what might be a harsh flu season, and it might be a mild flu season. I want my immune system to have the best chance at fighting anything that comes its way, especially if that's COVID. And while in the past I've relied on herbs and supplements and plenty of rest to boost my immune system, the increased stress and anxiety and depression that many of us are experiencing because of this quarantine and the goings on in our country, my immune system is already pissed off. I'm playing it as party line safe as I can this year, and I don't feel guilty about it. For all of my friends out there and now enemies who might tend to be icked out by vaccine ingredients, I'm going to say this with love. We all need to take a deep breath. I'm being absolutely serious. This virus is a serious challenge to our world and to our economy, and it's going to be uncomfortable as we try and keep this under better control than our country has. I have a lot to say about that. I'll leave it at that, and that's the story. If you have children who are susceptible to vaccine reactions, contact the CDC. They have plenty of online information about adverse reactions. Why? Because, as you can see in the link below, they already have declared that they pay out millions of dollars to people who have permanent damage from adverse reactions to vaccines. The CDC knows about adverse reactions, and they can be contacted if you have concerns. Keep a close watch on children who are susceptible to fevers or seizures once you vaccinate, and consult your pediatrician to make sure that you are making the right decision for your family. Avoid sugar as much as you can, even though it's essentially medicine for a lot of us right now. It can weaken your immune system. Get rest, reduce stress any way you can. And for the love of God, please, maybe stop going to parties. Maybe don't eat out in closed places. Come on, people, let's get through this winter together. It is an unprecedented time. It is leading many of us to unprecedented shifts in our comfort level. We are all in this together. I've listed some resources below. I know this video will make a lot of you upset, and I get that, but I felt like it was time to talk about it. I hope you're all staying safe. See you next time.